Yo guys, what is up? C-Ray back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some tips on how to start calisthenics. So when it comes to calisthenics, it's completely a different playing field to any other exercises and any other type of training that you do. So if you're starting off in the gym and you're working out, for instance, and you're using weights to work out, it's going to be completely different, and there are a number of things I'm going to share with you in this video when it comes to calisthenics, the differences that it imposes on you and your body, and pretty much the demands that are placed upon you when training. So the first thing you want to be factoring in when doing calisthenics is controlling the movement. So what do I mean by controlling the movement? I mean, you've probably heard of this when it comes to weightlifting. You want to be focusing on controlling the movement, controlling the weight, rather than actually trying to do as many reps as possible. And this is exactly the same thing when it comes to calisthenics, because that's what's going to get you the most progress. So for instance, when it comes to things such as the push-up, as I'll show you right now, you want to be going down as much as possible and using as much range of motion as possible in the movement. So you don't want to be like rushing the movement and trying to do as many reps as possible. You guys want to be slowing the movement down, controlling the movement, and this goes for every single exercise that you do in calisthenics, whether you're doing a push-up, whether you're doing a pull-up, whether you're simply just doing a basic exercise such as a sit-up. You guys want to be really controlling that movement, because the more you control the movement, the more you're going to understand the activation you need to perform more movements in calisthenics when it comes to the intermediate and advanced levels and advanced and intermediate exercises. So the first thing you want to master when it comes to pushing exercises is definitely the push-up. And if you haven't delved into different type of push-up variations, which I'll get into in another video, then definitely be looking into doing this. But when it comes to the push-up, going back to it, you guys basically want to be starting off in a straight position like this, guys. So making sure that your body is completely straight. Essentially, you're in a straight arm plank position with your body when you start off with the push-up. So when it comes to controlling the movement on this, you want to make sure everything is in line as it should be. So that means keeping your arms as straight as possible, also making sure that your shoulders are over your hands, just like this, making sure that your hands aren't too far wide, they aren't too far forward, they aren't too far behind you, because otherwise this could cause unneeded aggravation in the future, especially on the joints. So what you guys want to be able to do, if you're just starting and you don't even know how to perform a push-up, I'll show you the best way to do it. This is what I tell all my clients. So the best thing to do, guys, is come down just like this on the floor, and you want the lower part of your hand right here to be in line with the lower part of your chest, so the crease area. So you want to have your hands just like this. Engage your core, so tense your abdominals. And all you want to be doing here, guys, is keeping your legs together and push from this angle, keeping everything as straight as possible. So it should look like this. And then you're set to go. You can rep it out from here. And this is the best way that I would advise you to start off when you're learning the form. Don't rush into it, guys. Don't try and do so many reps. Control the movement. You're only going to be cheating yourself, guys, if you're trying to do so many reps at the same time, like try to do 100 reps. As I always say, 10 solid reps is better than doing 100 poor reps. So factor that in when you do calisthenics. You want to make sure you're controlling the movement. A great way that you can learn to control the movement would be practicing negative reps. So negative reps are the reverse of a full rep. So for instance, if you're doing the push-up, a negative rep would simply just look like this. So you'd start off at the top of the rep in the straight arm plank position and just come down as slow as you guys can, controlling the eccentric portion of the movement and essentially controlling the full movement. And then once you guys can understand that, then you guys can not only control the eccentric, but you can also control the concentric, just like that. And that's going to be the best way to activate all the muscle fibers that you want to activate, because if you're trying to do so many reps, you're not going to be able to activate the muscle groups that you want, and therefore you're not going to progress how you want, detrimenting your own progress. The next important thing that I need to explain to you guys and you need to understand is core strength. So what do I mean by core strength? Going back to the push-ups, which is a simple explanation for what I'm about to show you, This is essential for doing the push-up without you even knowing. So some people, when they do the push-up, for instance, they tend to arch their back because they're not engaging their core correctly. So they'll kind of look like, I guess, like a banana, and they'll kind of do a push-up like this, which is not great. So the thing with the core is you need to be activating it. See the difference when I do this, guys? Notice when I engage my core, it brings me straight, and then I keep engaging it during the whole movement. This is exactly what you guys need to be doing in every single movement that you do in calisthenics. Even with the pull-up, guys, you want to be engaging your core not only to stabilize your body, but also to help you to actually do the pull-up and engage the right muscles correctly. If you're just starting off in calisthenics, the best way that you can learn to engage your core, if you haven't built up a good amount of foundational strength to do push-ups and pull-ups, is to do things such as the hollow body hold. So what is the hollow body hold? I believe that they call this the boat hold in gymnastics, but this is essentially when you're just laying on the floor, just like this, and all you want to do from here, guys, is pretty much engage your core like this and lift your feet off of the ground together. So it should look like this. This will really engage your core, guys, and as you can tell, I'm even struggling to hold it because it's not easy. Once you guys learn this, and once you guys get to a good level, say around 45 seconds to a minute, holding that in perfect form, you guys are going to build up a great amount of foundational strength in your core area to be able to do other exercises a lot easier in the future, such as the handstand, for instance, which is an essential gateway beginner skill I'd recommend everyone learning who wants to start calisthenics and take it seriously. And of course, if you guys are struggling to do the hollow body hold, because that's not an easy skill at all by any means, especially if you're just starting working out or you're just starting calisthenics, then you can also do an easier variation where you just have your knees up like this and hold that. You're still going to be able to engage your core in the right areas, and also this is going to help understand the full move when it comes to the full hollow body hold. The next thing that we're going to talk about is progressive strength. So what do I mean by progressive strength? I essentially mean that whether you're an intermediate trying to learn the advanced skills, or whether you're a beginner trying to build up your foundational skills and potentially even get into the intermediate levels, you guys need to be using progressive strength. So this is essentially going to be a series of exercises that cater to your specific level. So whether you're learning something like the push-up, you guys can start off at any single level and build it up through progressive exercises that challenge your strength and essentially build it. So for instance, you guys can start off with the basic push-up, which is going to be the knee push-up if you don't have any sort of strength whatsoever. So this would look like this. A classic knee push-up. And you guys might be thinking, well, I can't even do a knee push-up. Well, there's a good thing that there's a whole list of things you can go to. Even if you're a true beginner, you've never worked out one day in your life, you guys can do a negative knee push-up. Just like this, going down as slow as you can. Then once you master that and knee push-ups, you can then go into a harder variation, slightly harder, which would then be the negative push-up, going down as slow as you possibly can on the push-up. Then once you build up to a good level on them, you can then go to the full push-up, and then you can make it even harder by switching up the variation and challenging yourself even further by doing diamond push-ups. You guys can even make it harder by doing one hand at a time, doing unilateral movements, such as potentially doing the archer push-up, when you go from one side to the other, and then eventually you guys can start doing one arm push-ups and really blow up your strength. This is also exactly the same when we talk about the pull-up, mastering basic exercises that help you with your back strength, building up to the pull-up, increasing the variations you can do with a pull-up is what progressive strength is all about. So you guys can do this with every area of your body. When it comes to your legs, mastering doing squats, then you can move on to doing pistol squats and then potentially the dragon squat. Then when it comes to chest, you can go through the push-up variations. Then when it comes to pull-ups, you can also go through the push-up progressional exercises and then go on to different pull-up variations. And definitely with the core, there are so many different exercises to challenge you, building up your strength in a progressional way. So that is key to calisthenics. There's not just one exercise that you carry on doing and you're repetitive with it. Just like with a gym, you're not just doing the same thing every single day. You can really mix it up and you can really learn to progress on your journey, which is essentially going to build up a great amount of strength for you in the future and allow you to improve your overall calisthenics level. The very last thing, and one of the most important things in calisthenics, as well as everything else that we've talked about, is scapular engagement. So what is scapular engagement? So scapular engagement is essentially where you're using your scapula in order to maintain stabilization or do proper execution of a certain movement. So this factors into many exercises and movements in calisthenics, especially with the basic foundational exercises that you have to be doing in order to understand and learn in calisthenics. So when it comes to the things that we've talked about, the basic exercises such as your push-ups, your pull-ups, your squats, and even the hollow body hold, you guys are actually using your scapula in every single one of them. So when it comes to the push-ups, you're maintaining a neutral spine position in the push-up and you're slightly retracting your scapula at the bottom portion of the rep. When it comes to the pull-up, this is a very interesting one. With the pull-up, you keep a neutral spine position when you're hanging in a dead hang before you perform the pull-up, and then you go into a scapular retraction, trying to touch your chest to the bar. The reason that people do scapular pull-ups when they can't perform the full pull-up is because it helps build up the strength to be able to perform the full pull-up. The scapula is involved in every single movement that you do, or 99.9% of them anyway, and if you don't learn scapular activation, engagement, and contraction, you guys are really going to struggle in all areas in calisthenics. So make sure that you learn this. So for instance, with the hollow body hold, you guys are going to be slightly protracting your scapula and keeping your shoulders forward just like this. With the push-up, you guys are going to be keeping a neutral spine position just like this, and then as you go down, you're going to slightly retract your scapula and then go back into a neutral spine position again. When it comes to things like the planche, which is a super advanced move in calisthenics that everyone wants to learn, you have to make sure you have a very solid amount of strength in your scapular protraction. So protraction would look like this, retraction would look like this, and neutral spine position would be right in the middle, guys. So you guys have to learn these three areas of scapular engagement before you start to do anything else in calisthenics. So if you're a true beginner, you want to start calisthenics, you want to get to the advanced levels and master your body weight, doing insane skills, defying gravity through different exercises and movements that can literally transform your whole life and your perception of what your body is capable of, then definitely be learning these things that I've shown you in this video. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you now understand the things that you need to do if you're a beginner and you've never started calisthenics and never even potentially worked out in your life, but you want to be able to progress in calisthenics, mastering your body weight and doing impossible looking skills that defy gravity. Also, guys, my next video will be showing you the exact exercises that you need to be doing if you've never done calisthenics in your life and you want to know the right exercises and movements that you need to be doing to progress. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, then I recommend you doing that so you do not miss the next video. And also, if you enjoyed the video and you want more videos like this, which is sort of like a chill vibe and it's like a one-on-one chat with you guys, then make sure to like the video just so I know exactly what type of content to put out for you. And one last thing, if you don't want to wait for the new YouTube video, then there's also the option to check my description for my own calisthenics app, C-Ray Fit, and you guys can make an account and get started straight away with a 7-day free trial in order to level up your calisthenics game and start out completely zero to get to advanced levels in calisthenics. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.